Ladies and gentlemen, deputies, as I enter this National Assembly today with the responsibility of presiding over it, I am fully aware of the gravity of the historic moment our country is experiencing. Here I am, called upon to lead the institution responsible for directly representing popular sovereignty. Some see this as a crisis, others as a rift. For me, above all, this is a test of truth for our democracy. People do not judge politicians solely by their victories. They judge them above all by their ability to remain true to their principles when holding power becomes uncomfortable. For there is a question more important than knowing who governs. That question is, in the name of what do we govern? The country has witnessed deep divisions emerge at the highest levels of the state. These have been described as personal rivalries, conflicts of ambition, or struggles for influence. I do not wish to encourage this reductive interpretation. What is at stake goes beyond individuals. What is at stake is the relationship between morality and politics. Aristotle wrote in the Nicomachean Ethics that politics is the highest art because its purpose is the common good. Not for the benefit of a faction, not for the preservation of power for its own sake, but for the good of the city. He also reminded us that no city can endure if virtue disappears from those who govern it. Even in Senegal, this question of the ethics of power is not foreign to us. President Mamadou Diar had already pointed this out. No national transformation project can survive if leaders confuse the state with their own interests. For him, sovereignty could not be merely political. It had to be moral, economic, and social as well. He knew that a country can have a flag, a national anthem, and institutions, yet still remain trapped by practices that drain the republic of its meaning. What Mumudia understood very early on, many African nations discovered sometimes too late. A country can survive material poverty, but rarely to the collapse of its public morality. A nation does not die only from economic poverty, it can die from moral exhaustion. It can die when institutions stop serving the people and become instruments of comfort, fear, and calculation. It can die when institutions cease to serve and instead become instruments of comfort, fear, or calculation. We come from a long history of African dissolution. How many peoples have seen liberation movements turn into instruments of domination? How many promises of change have dissolved into privilege, compromise, and silence? How many revolutions have ended up fearing the transparency they once demanded? St. Augustine, in the City of God, asked a formidable question. What is a state without justice, if not a great association of bandits? What is a state without justice, if not a great association of bandits? This phrase endures. This phrase remains relentlessly relevant for all the nations of the world. When public power ceases to be guided by justice, it no longer inspires trust. It breeds resignation and anger. That is why I want to say it here with solemnity. It is not an ornament meant for campaign speeches. It is the condition for the survival of nations. When a people